Good Saturday morning to you all. This is Mitch. Hope you guys are having a great start to your day, great start to your weekend. Got you an update on what could potentially unfold today for your weather for your Saturday, July the 16th. And we're just going to break this down, not really expecting anything crazy at all. It's actually going to be a pretty quiet day if you compare it to maybe the last 2 weeks. It might be one of the more quieter days of the last 2 weeks of the month, honestly. But we're going to talk about, some temperatures, how hot it can get for certain people. We're going to talk about a couple areas that could see some strong to severe storms today, maybe a little bit of flooding, but in general, not really expecting a very active day. But I appreciate people tuning in regardless. Thank y'all. It really helps with the continuous, keeping the channel going. It really helps, even though there's not much growth right now. You guys continuously tuning in lets me know that at least the content is still good enough to watch. So I really appreciate you guys. I really do. But hit me up on social media. Twitter, Facebook, it's a great way to interact with what I do. Definitely trying to get to that 10,000 followers on Facebook. That's a big goal of mine by the end of the year. So hit me up there if you got a Facebook. But if you guys got anything that I can pray about, pray over, please put in the comments below. It gives me an opportunity to pray about it and gives others an opportunity to do so too. So let's get rolling this morning. Water vapor loop, there's a ridge right in this area. There's pieces of energy kind of riding in the upper portion of this ridge. This will promote a little bit of severe weather today across the middle of the country. We'll talk about that. And, just a general kind of summer pattern setting up. You still got this stalled frontal boundary, but it's starting to weaken, kind of diminish. But we're going to have a little bit of a severe weather threat across the mid-Atlantic today, and then a general just thunderstorm risk for other portions of the country. And if we look at the Storm Prediction Center, there's that mid-Atlantic risk of severe storms today where you have a marginal risk. That is a level 1 out of 5. Not a huge deal, but in general, I do think you'll see a strong to severe storm or two out there. So watch out Richmond, Washington, D.C., Baltimore. Down there, in portions of the Delmarva area, you can certainly see some strong storms today. So it's just some stronger storms today. So it's just certainly something to watch out for. Then right here in the middle of the country, including Nebraska, Kansas, areas of eastern Colorado, areas of northern Missouri, and then a small section of southwest Iowa. We need to watch out for some severe storms in this area too. The biggest threat probably is just going to be maybe a damaging wind threat and a small hail threat. But in general, no tornado threat really driving this. Like I said, damaging wind, hail threat will be there, but even a low chance of that. So we'll keep this rolling. Excessive rainfall outlook. I'm surprised Florida isn't a little bit more covered by this, as the latest HRRR model shows a widespread area of showers and storms kind of just over the entire peninsula today, and I'll talk about that here in a second. But a marginal risk of flash flooding in this weird squiggly area right here, just where in general storms could be today. There will be a flash flooding risk, but the risk is very low, just a 5% chance, 25 miles, in any given location of flash flood guidance being met. So we'll watch out for that, but I'm not expecting that to be a huge deal. Watches and warnings today. Heat advisory right here in the south central U.S. This includes areas of southern Missouri, a large portion of Arkansas, large portion of Oklahoma, areas of the panhandle of Oklahoma and Texas, and also includes southern counties of Kansas. So the heat will build here today. It will not build, it will continue. And it get well over 100 degrees today with the heat index probably approaching 110 in certain areas. So very uncomfortable weather here today for sure. But let's break down as far as how the moisture, how the storms could unfold today. Well, if you keep your eyes on Florida, a little upper level low disturbance that's been kind of moving through the entire tropics and the Caribbean and moving northwest, and this is actually going to kind of funnel in some moisture for Florida today, especially the peninsula of Florida. The panhandle of Florida and the southern Gulf states will actually get a little bit of break today. Now, that doesn't mean it's not going to storm in certain areas, because it probably will, but I don't think it's going to be near as widespread. But there's going to be a lot of showers and storms in Florida today. Anybody can get hit, and they could be quite intense, even though there's not really a severe weather threat. They, definitely can drop a lot of rain fast. That's why I'm kind of surprised there isn't a bigger risk of flash flooding down here in Florida today. But, we'll watch out for that for sure. But there's going to be some intense storms that do form in eastern Virginia, areas of southern Maryland, up near Washington, D.C. and Baltimore. I expect some stronger storms to form in this area today. So we'll check out that. The Carolinas, Georgia, everybody else, very isolated. You know, if you get under a shower and storm, consider yourself, maybe go play the lottery tonight, because it's going to be very, very isolated out here. The Northeast, not too active, you know, and nowhere is really too active, but some showers are making their way, will continue to make their way through the morning hours and the early afternoon hours through southern Ohio, areas of West Virginia, and that little piece of energy will refire up some stronger storms in this portion of the country right here where you had that marginal risk. So we'll see how strong these storms will be, but in general, not expecting anything crazy wild out of these storms. Just some, in general, just your typical summer intense storms that you can get this time of year. But the south central U.S., what do you guys look like? Well, some moisture is going to shoot out of Colorado, and some of these cells, some of these showers and storms can be severe in eastern Colorado, where you have that intense heating that will provide a lift in thermodynamics, that will provide just the environmental factors for some severe weather. So we'll watch out southern sections of Nebraska and northern Kansas today. Maybe a complex of storms moves through, and then it might become a little bit more intense into the overnight hours. And then probably the biggest threat from, you know, southwest Iowa and northern Missouri will probably come overnight. And I'll take a closer look at that right here. Not really a closer look, it's just a different vantage point here. But we're going through the afternoon hours, and here's that complex of storms, showers right here that will make its way kind of south around the upper portion of this ridge of high pressure, which is actually situated a little bit further west. But we'll watch for this a little bit later in the night as these hold intensity. The latest HRRR model shows they do, but in general, we're not really going to know what this looks like until we get into this evening. But maybe some storms, some showers in central areas of Minnesota a little bit later overnight that might originate kind of in northern areas of Minnesota. And then we can have some downpours in areas of Illinois today, and they might make their way and kind of develop into Indiana overnight, and then into Ohio, maybe southern sections of Michigan. But I don't expect these to be intense or anything like that. Just some rain that's going to fall. I'm not, you know, quite sure what the drought conditions are up in the Ohio Valley, but I do not think they're that bad. I should know that, but I don't. I'll be honest. I'm not going to lie to you. But as far as temperatures today, it's going to be very hot. You know, it seems like I've repeated this over the last month, but, you know, Dallas-Fort Worth is going to push 100. Oklahoma City will get over 100. They'll get in the low 100s. Little Rock will get over 100. Columbia, Missouri will be right on the boundary of hundreds in the southern sections of the state, and then maybe just 90s and 80s for the northern section. There'll be a little bit of a boundary. Very hot for southern Illinois. Very hot for Memphis in the upper 90s, and even Nashville getting pretty hot. So, you know, what we're lucky here in the southeast is just typical summer heat, upper 80s, lower 90s. It's actually probably a tick below average technically. The northeast, you know, if you're in areas of Ohio, West Virginia, southern PA, Maryland, especially western Maryland, maybe northwest Virginia, you know, you guys will probably be held down temperature-wise with this complex of showers and storms that will keep temperatures down. But if you're out of the influence of the clouds, it'll warm up pretty nicely in areas of the northeast. Probably more of a warmer day than what we've seen, with 80s getting well inland in the northeast. It's going to be a pretty warm day for areas of the Great Lakes, the Ohio Valley, the Midwest. It's going to warm up nicely, well into the 80s. So you're starting off a little nippy this morning. Those northern sections of these states, like Michigan and Wisconsin, you know, it's certainly going to warm up nice today and feel more like a summer day. But that's pretty much all I got, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate the support. And I'll probably have a video tonight. I got a busy day ahead of me. And yeah, I just got a lot of things to do. So I'll try to get you a video tonight, even though there's not really a whole lot to talk about. But stay tuned, guys. Things are going to pick up. I know it feels really slow right now to me. Trust me, it feels like it is. It feels like there's nothing to really talk about. I've probably been as less active this week than I have in a while on social media in the weather world. So, but when things pick up, I pick up, and my passion really oozes through these platforms. If people have been watching me in the wintertime, they really saw it. But have a great day, guys, and I'll talk to you again when I talk to you again. God bless.